known the Glovers, PDG, Rich Glover, and Susan for a very long time, since I was in Rotary, actually. And when Rich was governor, he really focused on Interact and RILA and all youth programs. And, you know, that's my forte. And so he appointed me into leadership in the role. I had several, but I was Interact and Rotaract. And then I joined Susan's committee. So I go way back with them. So when I learned that they were back in town, they had previously or temporarily relocated to Florida or moved to Florida and came back, I was like, oh, this is great. And I actually was visiting their club, and Susan was the speaker, and I thought her presentation was great. So I wanted our club to hear it. So a little bit about Susan professionally. She serves as the founder and CEO of Tour de Force Partners, following a successful career in leading multiple executive service lines and provider-based healthcare. Her goal is to bring 25 years of executive leadership experience and her studies in organizational leadership to create positive change in leaders and their organization's performance. Susan also serves as a vice president and senior consultant with HealthSearch Partners. HealthSearch Partners was founded in 2017 by veterans of the healthcare executive search business. Susan also served as the Chief Quality Officer for Adventist HealthCare located in Gaithersburg, Maryland, since 2001, where she established governance and strategies to drive conscientious and accountable processes for measuring and improving the quality and appropriateness of patient care services. She served on several boards, focused on quality, safety, and prevention of domestic violence and abuse, including serving as the chair of Maryland Patient Safety Center. Susan's passion for organizational effectiveness, leadership, and governance inspired her studies at Hood College, where in 2020 she received her doctorate in organization leadership. As an author and CEO, Susan now focuses on creating positive change for leaders and their team's performances. She recently authored her first book, which I'll let her share more about that in her presentation. And now, without further ado, Dr. Susan Glover.
So you notice first thing is we have no PowerPoints. I'm not a fan of PowerPoints when we're together. All right. So I'm going to start by answering the question that everybody asks. Why did you write a book? Why did I write a book? And my short answer is because I had something to say. And I had something to say that I believed would help other people. And so, Marilyn talked about my journey, my personal journey, my professional journey, my education journey. And I thought, we have a lot of leaders out there. How many of you are leaders in the room? Raise your hand. Do we have any leaders here? How many people are leaders? Okay, that's right. You got to go and see if anybody's following to know whether you're a leader or not. So I believe that you have to lead yourself before you can lead anybody else. And I see a lot of leaders that honestly, they don't lead themselves, but yet they're put in a position to lead other people. And so that really was what inspired me to write the book. I'm also believe that you have to be your best self every day, physically, mentally, spiritually. And your body is amazing because your body has this thing called a kinetic chain in it. And I'm going to talk about that. But what's more amazing, and how many of you lead in organizations? You have an organization you lead. Okay, a fair number. Organizations have a kinetic chain too. So, but I'm going to start with a moment of gratitude. This would not be possible without many, many, many people. And I'm going to start with the two people that are at the front table here, my husband and my daughter, Victoria. And they were my consummate cheerleaders working along the way. I want to thank my publisher, Amplify. It's not a paid announcement, but the writing partner that they gave me, Allie, she was amazing to help me think about how do I get all this in a place. You'll notice in my book that there were 6 people that volunteered to read my book ahead of time and provide a testimonial. Was this really worth publishing? And one of them is somebody you will know, Barry Razin, who was our former Rotary International president, who hails from the Bahamas. He is an author as well. I'm not sure if his book's in print, but I would look for it. He was one of the people. And the other people are the people in the book. Okay. So about the book, what you have in the book is you have some of my philosophy about kinetic chain. You have some work that you can do. I wanted a coffee table book. Isn't this pretty? This is the beach. Where's this beach, Victoria? Nice, France. Yes. And one of the thank yous is an artist locally by the name of Yemi, who actually painted the cover for me. But what is important is the people in the book. There's stories in the book. There are things that you can do. There are reflective questions that you can ask yourself. And there are daily practices that you could adopt if you wanted to, if you want to be your better self. And so I want to start with a quote. Oh, and there's a quote for every chapter. And Alexandria Stoddard, what we do right now has an accumulative effect on all of our tomorrows. What we do right now. What we do today makes your day tomorrow. So why is this topic important? Every good book starts with a why. And I understand I'm amongst a lot of authors in the room. So for other authors, you had a why when you wrote your book. There's a leadership crisis in this country. And it's not a political statement. There is. You look at CEO turnover every 12 to 18 months. And every time a CEO or a C-suite person turns over, it costs the company more than $2 million just to in that 18 months. But more than the leadership crisis, there's a behavioral and a mental health crisis in this country, secondary to stress. 1 in 5 adults, 1 in 5, I'm looking at you, we had a very brief introduction, have some form of depression. But we can do something about it. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour through the book. And we're going to start with some barriers. How many of you feel guilty when you take time for yourself? Come on, come on. I'll close my eyes. I'll close my eyes for a minute. Come on, come on. Yeah? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Okay, so, and we make up a whole set of excuses, don't we? I know I can't roam around. Sorry. I don't stand still very well. We make up a bunch of excuses. So we're going to get some energy going in the room, and you're going to raise your hand if you agree with the statement, okay? Not making enough, not having enough time for my personal priorities. Does this apply to you? Get them up high. Come on. Look around. Okay. Human drift. You know what human drift is? You start on January 1 and you start watching your food. You start watching your exercise. And what are you doing by the time you get to April 1? Nada. You drift from the practice that you know is best for you. How many people here are a victim of drift? Well, we got a couple. All right. And that drift morphs into complacency. Complacency is your enemy. Okay, here we go. Number 3, low self-esteem, self-awareness, or confidence. Anybody have any of that? All right, you can keep it to yourself. Lack of trust in yourself or others. Lack of trust in yourself or others. And yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm here. I'm here with you guys. Lack of trust in yourself. Okay, lack of trust in yourself. Do you have lack of trust in yourself? Anybody here? Okay, all right. All right. You guys think you're great. Okay, that's good. Lack of trust in other people. Okay. Okay. And you know what? And you're going to have to get my book and read it. But you know what the antithesis of trust is? It's fear. Think about the relationship between fear and trust. So I'll let you read about that on your own. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for, I know, right out of these beautiful little pages. And do you realize when I was preparing for today, I actually found an error in this book. And I'm not going to tell you where it is. I'm going to give you the definition. How many times did we read this book? 1,000,000 times. Okay, I'm going to give you the definition that I use. It's a baby error, so you probably won't see it. The definition I use for the kinetic chain, because I think it's important to ground. The kinetic chain in your body is a system that refers to the interrelated parts of the body, including your joints, your muscles, your nerves, that are all connected to your spinal column. And it allows for coordinated movement. And there's the upper part of your body and there's the lower part of your body. And they come together in a very, very important muscle in your body. And it's deep right here. And it's called your psoas muscle. And it's what makes you whole. So that's as far as you're going to get for an anatomy and physiology class today. Now, what does that mean for an organization? An organization has a kinetic chain as well. The organization's governance, organizational structure, communication are analogous to the spinal column and the central nervous system in the body. And that is my premise. That is my theory. And when I draw this picture in here, you can see a picture of a human. And you can also see a picture of an organization. And I start at the very top. What's at the top? The purpose and the mission, leadership, the governance, your committees, your structures, trust, relationships, and communication. That's that connective tissue in the organization, and your team members. So my writing takes you through a journey of how do you develop yourself? And then how does that poise you to lead other people and to lead organizations? How many people here believe that you are the chief culture officer of the organization or the group of people that you work with? Yeah, you're responsible, right? If you're leading, you're responsible for creating that culture. I'm now going to move into something that I think is really important for you to think about. And that is the concept of resistance and resilience. Now just think about it. Would you rather work in an organization, or would you rather have a body that's more resistant or more resilient? How many resilient people do I have in the room? Raise your hands. You're getting some exercise here today. Good. I like it. I like it. Okay, how many people in here would rather work or have a body that's more resistant? Resistant. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's something to ponder, and it's something to read about. But resilience and resistance are fueled by your behavior or your attitude. So you can be more reactive in your behaviors, right? You react. Somebody pulls in front of you on the road. What do? Do you just wave and say hi, or do you wave some other body part or whatever? Or you can be more reflective. Being more reactive or more reflective. Now, if you're more reactive, do you think that's going to create more resilience, or do you think it's going to create more resistance? If you're reacting all the time, you're just right off the cuff reacting to things. You're not being, more resistance, right? But if you're more mindful, if you're more reflective, and you are now creating that culture, and you're creating the relationships, and you're creating the trust, and you're creating all of that, which is part of the kinetic chain of the organization. And you're looking at me, I don't think you're believing me, but that's okay. That's okay. We have a great discussion. It's good. Okay. No, and that, I did that for a purpose, because I'm going to talk about assumptions in a minute. It will help you create that organization that's effective, and that begins to be part of the culture. The 4-way test is beautiful. And the reason the 4-way test is beautiful, I think it's a grand example of being more reflective. Isn't it? When people live their lives that way, and if you don't know the history on where the four-way test, who developed it, it's something very, very interesting to look up, but I don't have time for that today. But in this being resistive or reflective, it is all based on your attitude, and you have the opportunity. That's the one thing you have in your control, is you're owning your attitude. And owning your attitude is what your practices are, what you do, your perceptions. Perceptions they can be kind of evil, right? Like I was watching this gentleman, I don't know your name, but I was thinking, okay, he's really not believing me, but I have no idea. That was my perception, but see, it was wrong. So thank you for doing that. But here's the most important part. What is in your control and what's not in your control? How many people feel every day there is so much out of our control? Two hands, right? Knowing the difference and managing what's in your control. And what this does for you in the kinetic chain is it gives you the ability to have positive energy. So if you go back to kinetics and you want positive energy, right? And that actually enables you to have more energy, and it ties to happiness, and it ties to something that I talk about when I talk about joy. And joy is, happiness, one thing. Oh, okay, you're happy. But joy is something that's very deep. And joy is something that gives you energy. And when you have it in yourself, then you can give it to other people. And so I spend some time talking about that, how you can leverage joy in your own life to help other people. Because how many people, just today, tell me if you've run into anybody grumpy today. We're only halfway through the day. Raise your hand if you run into anybody grumpy today. Oh, wow. So only a couple. Oh, they're sitting next to each other. Okay. Huh? What about the grumpy ones? Oh, what about if you're the grumpy one? Well, then you got to find your own. You got to find your own joy, right? So let me tell you about this. Your body is really amazing. Besides having a kinetic chain, do you guys know that your body makes happiness chemicals? Do you know that? Yeah. Okay. And do you know that there are things you can do to help your body make those happiness chemicals? All right. So let's go at the top of the list. Dopamine. Dopamine. Anybody tell me what you can do to raise the dopamine levels in your body? Go for it. You can laugh. Yeah. Exercise. Thank you very much. Do it. No, you do it yourself. New experiences. Doing new experiences, right? So I'm here with you, talking to all of you today. Chained to this podium. I am not a podium person. Chained to this podium. I'm having a new experience. Okay, next one. Oxytocin. What? Oxytocin. What can you do with that? Hugs. Come to a Rotary meeting. Socialization. And acts of kindness. Okay, next one. Serotonin. Serotonin. How can we build some serotonin? You can laugh. You can still laugh. That's good. That's good. How about something else? What about this? What's that? Walk. Very good. Great. Walk. And how about this? Sunshine. Yay. You guys are so much fun. Okay. Last but not least, and it's not a, so I said this one time to my father-in-law, and I thought the man was going to crawl under the table. And my husband was embarrassed. We were young in our marriage. Endorphins. Endorphins. How can you raise your endorphins? Exercise. Come on, laughter. Yes. That's right. That's right. Okay, and there's one more. Now, this isn't something you do. It's something you ingest. What's that? I don't think I wanted to hear what you said. Okay. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate. Yes. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate. Alrighty. So I'm going to move right on into joy and then give you some time to ask me questions or your perceptions. And so here is a quote, and this quote is from yours truly. The last chapter of my book is actually called Joy de Vivre, which means joy of life, from the inside out. And the quote for you is, there is only one you. Treasure your gifts, hone them, and have joy in sharing them. And one of the tools or exercises I give you in this book is something called life casting. And what life casting is, it's pretty interesting. You take today's date, the year, not the day, but the year. So it's 2025. Put your age, you go to a little timeline. Put your age. I'm 40. No. Put your age for today. And then you project out what's the average, your average lifespan for a woman, for a man, and count it out. If I'm 40 and I think I'm going to go to 80, then I'm going to go count out 80 years. There's going to be a date out there. And then you're going to start putting little hash marks between today and what your life expectancy is. And then you're going to start thinking about, what is it by the time you get to that up line that you want to be able to say that you have done, that you've accomplished, that you've experienced, that has brought joy to others, that has brought joy to yourself. Your children, grandchildren, your grandpuppies, your family, your travel, writing a book, and start mapping that out. And what it does for you, it allows you to think about every day. It allows you to have the opportunity, potentially, to be your best self every day and to show up for yourself. Because if you show up for yourself, then you can show up for other people. So, last little gift I'm going to give you. And actually, my friend over there, can you come up here with me? All right. You know what? Because it is so much more fun to hear other people. So come on up. You can share this mic. This mic's a little awkward, by the way. Anyways, so I give you the gift of 5 no's. Not no, like N-O. K-N-O-W. And so, David, would you share the 5 no's with our group for today?
Know who you are and know what your purpose is. That's number 1. Know why and how you got this purpose. Know how you live your mission. Know your healthy kinetic chain. Know what you have learned in life.
Thank you. Let's give him a hand. You did that great, didn't you? All right. I just want to say thank you. You guys are a wonderful, wonderful group. And those of you out in the cyberland or the cloud, I hope this was enjoyable and you could hear and you could see. And I guess I open up for questions. You have a couple minutes? Okay. Questions. Easy questions, hard questions.
So thanks for picking on me.
That was not. I was
So
sharing joy.
listen, no, I liked your presentation, and you really sort of emphasize, in my opinion, risk taking, or basically understanding that there's no time like the present. But I would like you to comment on failure, because with risk there's reward, and with risk there's also failure. And then failure can lead to being more introverted and less likelihood of taking risks in the future. So would you address failure, please?
Absolutely. I love failure. You know why? Because failure brings humility. If you can stand up in front of people and say, I made a boo-boo, I screwed up, that brings humility. But more than humility, failure brings success. The light bulb. How many times did you try to get a light bulb? And does anybody know the story of the toaster? The toaster. Everybody, who does not have a toaster in their house? Oh, wow. You don't have a toaster? Okay. Well, most people have a toaster, but there was something called the Toaster Project in the late 1800s, which was a string of failures. And now most people do have a toaster. Okay. There you go. So I love it. Failure brings success. It also builds humility. Thank you.
Crystal Lander, visiting Rotarian. The follow up on that point that I think is really good. So I have a 10-year-old who told me the other day that he didn't want to compete in something because he might lose. And it like hit me really hard that he thinks he has to be good at everything, but also losing is a problem. So you were talking about leadership, and I was really thinking about kind of generationally building. I mean, you know, I felt like you lost, you suck it up, you do what you need to do, raised by baby boomers. But how do we get that kind of mentality into our younger people? Because he really felt like he can't do anything he's not good at. And as soon as he's not good at something, it's like, you know, okay, and then I need to stop. Somehow innate goodness is not associated with just hard work. And I was thinking about that with your comments around leadership. And I've seen that happen where I've seen leaders at an organization I was in who left because they were like, well, it's really hard. I don't think I can do it. And I'm like, when did that become the reason why you left? Like,
Right.
it's so I just see it as kind of a bigger issue that seems to be.
It is.
Wow.
And I address it in my book. I address it in my book with what is called having a growth mindset. And actually, the school systems, I don't care what school system, 20 years ago, today, school systems haven't always taught with a growth mindset because it's all about it's pass, fail, that. Carolyn Dweck, excellent book. It's all about mindset, and it will not only help you as a parent, it'll help you with your child. It'll also help you personally. And I see the hook. Thank you so much.
We have a tradition in our club of presenting our speakers with a tree. And we will plant a tree in your name in a Washington, D.C., in a national park in Washington, D.C. And you will get GSP coordinates. You'll be able to find your tree. You'll be able to sit under it and have lunch one day.
And write another book?
And write another book.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is beautiful. Can I hug you? This is beautiful.